Thank you. I'm now going to turn to Ayman to just give us his remarks.
Thank you. I've taken some interesting notes of the sentiment. I think there's a collective sentiment around this round table about where the priorities are going to be going forward. Looking inwards at our economies is becoming a priority. Nationalism is going to rise across the border, be it developed economies or emerging or frontier economies. It is becoming more of a pressing need. What I read parallels across all economies, Africa, Duncan, and I agree with what Duncan was talking about in terms of capital flows and capital flights. We read capital flights going, and capital flights are going to now rethink fundamentals, and the fundamentals are the more attractive our economies are, the more ESG definitely our economies can offer, ESG friendly products our economies can offer, but also the more diverse and fundamental basis of investment opportunities we create between diversity on sustainable resources, on investment opportunities that are going into healthcare. Africa is a very populous continent, and we are seeing the largest population growth on the planet. If this is the case, and we are also shaping good examples, and I'm trying to look at the positive side beyond the rift, beyond this this downside that we're going to see. I see a very sharp V curve coming, and I think I've done my consensus around various investment professionals, and everyone seems to agree that the rebound out of this is going to be quick, and the recovery is going to be quick. However, we need to just start preparing ourselves for that downside. Where we can play a proactive role is definitely go back to our governments, respective governments, and tell them where the sentiment is and where the priorities are, and how they can better present and refocus their economies to be more attractive to capital to come back in. Some of the larger populous economies like Nigeria, like Egypt, these are economies that have a significant portion of remittances coming from expatriates out of those economies. This is a particular element of the economy, and you can reposition that as an opportunity to create your own stabilization fund out of your own population that are looking to create saving opportunities, create debt instruments that are more attractive to that particular class of citizens. There are more creative ideas around asset classes similar to investment in infrastructure or investment in healthcare and in food. Definitely regional clustering is becoming a reality, even for Chinese investors. China itself is trying to diversify its own supply chain. Realizing the efficiency of that concentration, that creates an opportunity. Africa is a solid market as far as industrial hubs can be created, as a solid market as far as food play or food industry can become attractive markets for those capital flows to come into those spaces. This is a mix of short-term and long-term solutions. From a sovereign wealth fund standpoint, I try to share a view on what pension funds can do, and I understand the risk-averse nature of their mandates. However, they can still be asset-focused on investing in asset classes, either through the stock market or through the capital market or through debt instruments, but consciously direct those. And it's in a buyer's market, you can actually land a very good yield opportunity, as it's a riskier opportunity, but the yield would be rewarding because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you make the consciously right decision to invest in the right sector, then you are saving your own economy and safeguarding your own future returns coming from the different sectors of the economy. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it is a solid zero-sum game. On the debt side, monitoring where sovereigns can also help. Sovereigns can also avail debt instruments to be able to finance their own conscious buy-side investments. And this is part of the looking inwards at your economy. If you have an international portfolio, you can actually bank on some of those portfolio elements and look inwards. We, as a sovereign fund of Egypt, we are the youngest sovereign fund in this forum, and we are the newest to the market. However, we are banking on a legacy of assets that we have as an economy that's being directed towards the sovereign fund to make a better use out of those assets. And we're doing what we're preaching by saying we're looking at those assets, reclassifying those priority assets in the healthcare sector, in the food sector, and seeing these are the attractive ones that we should be focusing on and presenting to the market, either to local investors and trying to create those momentums, and everyone sees that opportunity. With the right attention from the government towards directing part of its spending towards those companies or those initiatives, then you can help yourself by creating that snowball effect. To summarize my point, on the shorter term, conscious decisions around where to invest, where you direct your buying power, and you direct them towards the sectors that are most relevant to the crisis, but also most relevant to a quicker recovery out of the crisis. And on the longer run, educate and preach to your government on the more diverse economies, the more robust these economies will stand, the more these economies can sustain hits like this. If you are an oil economy, you need to diversify out of it. Diversifying comes on across different elements. It's not only government spending or the private sector community spending, but also governed by the sovereign funds and the pension funds to also nurture those sectors that you need to grow. And it becomes a profitable investment proposition on its own. And it's not going to be just developmental funding.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.